What's good with y'all boys, man? It's B-Man Reacts, and today we're back with another video. And as y'all can see, it's by the man, the myth, the legend himself, Aquarius Wave. Y'all know I'll be reacting to a lot of his videos, and I still have a lot of videos of his that I reacted to that I haven't even published yet. So, yeah. Anyways, I ain't gonna lie, I may watch this monkey business, because y'all know I got the monkey sound effects. And anyways, I do need to get some more sound effects for my soundboard, so if y'all have any suggestions, let me know, and I'll be sure to either consider it or put them in my soundboard. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
What do you look for in a man?
Oh, I can bear almost anything as long as he has clean teeth.
I look for kindness and sincerity most of all.
I think personality, warmth and affection for children are the main things.
I don't know really. Physique, interest.
Do you think looks are important?
Sometimes it all depends on the man.
What about money?
Money's not important.
Okay.
Would you marry an ugly man?
I've married one.
What's the craziest confession?
Oh man, the day her husband saw that video right there. Who's she talking about? I didn't know she was married before me.
This guy's 20 minutes after I his best friend.
Whoa!
3 dudes on one night, and it was the Natty Championships of UGA.
I beg your pardon?
The third one actually ate the second one to come out of my so that was
What?
funny.
Hey, yo, what the?
No. I'm sorry, folks. I was not expecting this shit. What in the hell did we just get ourselves into?
Bring back shame. Bring back bullying. All this, oh, let everybody be free. Let everybody do this and that. Let everybody be hoes. Let everybody do this and that. Bring back shame. This is degeneracy. We need to fix this.
Should I keep playing this?
Sorry, y'all. My throat is a little scratchy.
For the sake of the message, okay.
They both came at me.
Where's your dad? Where's your mom?
I cheated on my boyfriend with a guy I told him not to worry about.
Sheesh.
Okay.
By the way, that's why I always tell guys, you always gotta worry about the nigga that she tells you not to worry about, not the nigga. You gotta worry about the nigga you should worry about, but pay even more attention to the guy she tells you not to worry about.
Yeah, I was expecting a conversation starter, but I wasn't expecting 6-course meal to go with the starter. So here we are. Yeah. What has happened to women? What has happened to women? Ladies, do you know that in the last 60 years, there has been a concerted effort to destroy you? And it has not come from the patriarchy. It has not come from those bad men. It has not come from toxic masculinity.
Ooh, I strongly
The
dislike
concerted
that word.
agenda and effort to destroy you completely in all of your glory, all of your feminine radiance, has been other women.
That's what they say. Women keep other women single, and a woman's worst enemy is herself.
Not just any other women. It has been some of the women who are closest to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking not just cousins and best friends and coworkers and colleagues. I'm talking about older sisters, cousins, aunties, mothers, grandmothers. Now, I'm not just going to give them all of the credit, though they deserve a lot of it. But I will say that they have been the perpetuators of what we now come to call the feminist movement. Remember that messaging of you're too young to be thinking about marriage?
Which is a lie.
You know, you need to go out there and explore and have
I be seeing that a lot
fun.
on TikTok.
That essentially the promotion and the glorification of promiscuity, sleeping around indiscriminately. You have to go out there and figure out what it is that you truly like. So go ahead and taste every single variety that is available to you. These are the things that you've been told. These are the words that have been uttered over and over and over for the last 60 plus years. This is what your culture has taught you. This is what your culture has endorsed. It has promoted, and it has told you is normal. And guess what? You are destroyed. Your mind is broken. Your emotions are unregulated. Your physical body, which was once a temple, has been turned into a brothel. You've been destroyed. The plan has been perfectly executed. Now, like most things, I do believe that in the inception of women's suffrage, there was a message and a cause that was for the greater good. In the same way, civil rights, right? We look back and we look to civil rights and say that made sense. Yes, I would stand for that. But then you look 60 years later at BLM, a complete scam and a sham, and you say to yourself, what the hell happened? This is creating more disaster and destruction.
Yeah, BLM. If I got a video that I reacted to something that was talking about BLM and George Floyd or George Fent, but hopefully that video comes out soon because I do want to drop that video. I got to look for it and find it again. But BLM was a scam, but I ain't gonna lie. The society and societal norms has really played a lot of y'all women. Y'all may not believe me. Y'all may think I'm crazy or misogynistic or toxic masculinity, but think about it. Take a deep dive to whatever women is watching this. If you get this far in the video, which it isn't that far, think about what is allowed now. Y'all don't get shamed. This goes for everybody, but I'm specifically talking about women. Certain clothes that y'all wear, like y'all can wear a lingerie outfit and then tape y'all breast up, and y'all think that's okay. That's not okay. Y'all think it's okay to walk out the house without y'all panties on, which I know there's some girls that do that. Y'all think it's okay to not wear a bra. Y'all think it's okay to wear promiscuous clothing and then get mad when you get eyes drawn on you. I have a story about that. Somebody I know, they were wearing a schoolgirl outfit. Now, to anybody that knows, a schoolgirl outfit was a sexualized schoolgirl outfit. She was wearing a thong, a very short skirt. So basically, if she bent over a little bit, her ass was out. And since she's wearing a thong, she might just, the whole ass is out. And then she got the little short schoolgirl shirt, but it's all unbuttoned, so you can basically see her cleavage. She went inside the gas station, and obviously niggas was being niggas, which we know how that goes. They was over there sexualizing her. Now, do I agree that she deserves to be sexualized? No. However, you can't be wearing sexualizing clothes or demeaning clothing and then turn around and be mad that other people are in turn sexualizing you and making sexual jokes or telling you bend over or come this way or this and that. You did it to yourself. You can't dodge economy, which the saying that's currently trending on social media when it comes to women. 100 women versus accountability. You have to take accountability for your actions. We can blame the men, which I am blaming the men for sexualizing. However, what part did you play? It'd be different if you was wearing an outfit that wasn't revealing or promiscuous and then they sexualized. Now it's 100% on them. But for you to wear something that is deemed promiscuous, which even you know in the back of your mind is promiscuous, you just are choosing not to care, which we need to bring back shame for it. We need to be like some of these other countries and be strict on our clothing a little bit. But you can't walk in a place dressing like a slut or a whore, better word to use. You can't dress like a whore and then not expect to be treated like a whore. Just like women that are strippers, you see a girl that's dressed like a stripper, what do? They throw money at her, make her shake her ass, slap her ass sometimes, get touchy-feely on her. You think the strippers are mad that they're being sexualized? They're doing it to themselves. Well, some of them may be mad, but for a majority, they're sexualizing themselves. If you don't want to be sexualized, which I'll end it off with this, to all my women out there, if you don't want to be sexualized, don't sexualize yourselves, and you'll realize that a lot of people won't sexualize you. However, there are going to be people that still do it, but you can prevent a majority the key word here is majority. You can prevent majority of the people from sexualizing you by not sexualizing yourself. So how do you not sexualize yourself? No, do things that are sexual. Don't wear the lingerie outfit, the lingerie skirt, the lingerie shirt where you got to put tape on your titties and all of that, or the areola is basically showing, like shit like that. And a lot of y'all girls really think that's okay, and it's really not. And it also shows that y'all don't have fathers in your lives, because if y'all daddies seen that, they would be very disappointed. And it's crazy that a lot of women do that. Now, if that's how y'all want to roll, cool, but don't be expecting to get wife. At best, y'all are baby mamas.
Emotional damage.
Destruction than it is any sort of social justice. Women have had to fight for certain rights. Absolutely. But the same movement that purports to be empowering you has been doing a bait and switch. Here's empowerment leading you to brokenness. What is it sold you as empowerment? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about empowerment. What is it sold you is supposed to make you more autonomous, give you personal power, right? Because power is the ability to. That's how it's broken down etymologically. Power is the ability. I am able to do X, Y, and Z. I'm able to exert myself on the external world and create change. So they've said that empowerment. They've said, I was about to go indubitably. They've said that empowerment comes through you opening your legs up indiscriminately for whatever man in order to gratify your own insecurities. So you, in an effort to feel good about yourself, give yourself over to somebody who cares nothing about you, giving up the thing that is sacred within you, the ability to procreate, to a random whoever. Your emotions are then impacted. Your mental state is impacted. Your physical is compromised. And they tell you that you have been empowered. You've been duped. You've been ganked. You've been bamboozled. You've been hustled. You've been hoodwinked. That's what the hell has gone on. The bait and switch, like a shell game. Here's empowerment. Here's a liberation. These are the sort of innuendos, the sort of words that they use in replacement. They don't tell you that, oh, you're traumatizing yourself. You're destroying yourself. You know, we have this epidemic of therapy now and self-help, personal development and loving yourself, self-love movement. We have all this going on. Yet at the core of it, it could have just been a very, very simple preventative solution, which is don't give yourself away. Don't devalue yourself in such a way. Have some respect for yourself. Those girls, and I call them what they are, those little girls right there, walking around in public in bras, that is something I want to point out, is to even say how they dress. And some may say, well, that's winter, that's summer. You know, there's always excuses for people trying to cover up their 304-ness, right? On one side, you have women, and maybe that's the difference. I don't know how old they are. You know, folks were looking older back in the day. They weren't drinking enough water. That's what the studies say. This woman could have been 18, 19, who knows? But anyway, they're dressed. And some of the answers are the same. She said physique, but you know, oh, I'm with the ugly man now. Oh, money. Now, these little girls right here, look at this. Everything hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing left to the imagination.
Oh, that's another thing. I got two things. First thing is, remember, the brand is called Victoria's Secret. If I can already see your body, I can pretty much picture you what you look like naked. And that goes for both the genders. If I came in an outfit that made my abs look good, made my print looking way more visible than it is, and whatever other features that women like, right? Y'all think that's a little weird. Y'all may accept it if y'all find me remotely attractive or conventionally attractive. Obviously, y'all wouldn't care. But if it was an ugly nigga, y'all, different story. But the other thing is, it'll also be a lot of women. I remember when I was in school, a lot of girls would be like, the reason why they make us have a dress code is because of these weird ass teachers. Now, maybe some of the teachers are weird. I'm not going to completely disagree with you, but They were trying to teach you proper etiquette, something that a lot of women lack, which I'm telling you, if I ever have a daughter and or daughters, my daughters will not be dressing like no hoe, no slut, no 3 or 4, no whore, because I'm going to raise my daughter with common sense. Now, if I have a baby mama and her wife that indulges, well, I wouldn't have no wife that dresses like a hoe. Maybe a baby mama that dresses like a hoe, but there's the difference between wife tier and baby mama tier. Let's not intertwine the two. But if I was fucking with a girl and we have a kid together and it happens to be a daughter and she doesn't care that her daughter wants to dress promiscuous, fuck no. There is no, even though after you get to a certain age, yeah, but no, I'm going to teach my daughter and or daughters the right way to do things, because dressing and looking like a hoe is not a good look. It's honestly shameful. And I hope at a certain point in time in life we bring back shame, because when we stop bullying and shaming people, the world took a turn for the worse. Now everything's all rainbows and cupcakes and sunshine. That's not how life works. That's the idealistic worldview, not a realistic worldview.
The reason I show you that is to remind you that it wasn't always like this. As a matter of fact, go back a few decades ago, it was not like this. This has been a concerted effort through media, which is all mediums. That's messaging on, written messaging, some of the books that women are exposed to and read, diabolical stuff. It has been through audio. It has been through mostly visual, and what they continue to sell you, and now through social media avenues, which has been the fuel on the damn fire. This thing has gone gangbusters. This thing has gone international, and it's seeped into young women. And it breaks my heart to see it, because it's kind of like if you see somebody who consumes sugar all day, every day, and if they just remove that, they would lose the weight. They would eradicate half of the diseases that are created through lifestyle. But you just watch them doing it, and you're like, the solution is so simple. These young women here, the solution is so simple. Lean into your femininity. The aspects of you. The reason you have to get drunk. The reason you got to get drunk in order to do certain things or get out of your mind, or you got to trick yourself, is because your whole body, your system is telling you no. It's saying no. A woman needs to feel connected. She needs to feel bonded. She needs to feel emotionally safe in order to open up. So she does things to lower her inhibition in order to just give herself that way. Why do you think it is that real life 304 streetwalkers, they're almost always on some sort of sedatives, drugs? They have something that they're taking in order to go to that place, because they couldn't naturally go there. The feminine in you. The feminine in you desires to have that protector, provider. It desires it. And you've been told that you don't need no man. I don't need no this. I don't need no that. So
as I said before, women don't need a man. Women don't need a man until it's a situation that requires a true masculinity or a true man's presence, stuff like that, which most of the time they do end up needing a man. And eventually, women got their wish, though. Y'all said y'all don't need a man, y'all don't want a man. Now y'all get mad when the man doesn't hold the door open for you. Y'all wanted to be treated like equals, so now y'all getting treated like equals. I be seeing this a lot on Twitter and threads and stuff like that. They be like, so what happened to the man who used to give up their seat? What happened to the man who used to open doors for women? What happened to men who would pay for the first date? Well, y'all are strong, independent, and don't need us anymore. So if you're strong and independent, we treat you like a regular person, which in turn is treat you like a man. And I say that with quotation marks. So instead of us treating y'all like women, we now treat y'all as equals, as y'all so wanted. But the thing is, with modern day feminism, typically a lot of modern day feminists, they only want to be equal when it benefits them. But that's really the women's species in general. They do things that benefits them. If it doesn't benefit them, they don't want to do it. And you can see this in a lot of women. This is pretty much just how like every woman, almost every girl works pretty much. They do things that benefit them. They ain't doing it if it doesn't benefit them in some way, shape, or form. Like, for example, they date with a nigga that they know they're not attracted to. They know well, more than likely I'll get a free ride. I'll get my food paid for, and he'll provide me a little bit of entertainment while I'm there. If that nigga wasn't driving to her to pick her up to take her to the restaurant or pay for the dinner or provide just a little bit of entertainment, even if he just did the two things, drove her and took her out to eat, if he ain't doing none of that, she wouldn't even talk to him. Women know how to extract resources from us men because they know they can benefit from it.
You just go ahead, just get a donor. Oh, you want to have a baby? Get a donor. That's what you've been told. And for too long, we as men have been told, no, you can't talk about this. No, you can't talk about, you're a man. You can't talk about women's issues.
Mm-hmm.
The hell we can and we should. And part of the biggest problem is the fact that daddy has not been in the household telling you what you need to hear.
Mm-hmm. They want to go off the emotions instead of the logic. They prefer to think in their emotions than think with the logic. That's why I said, if I have a daughter and or daughters in the near future, I'm going to raise them right. I'm going to raise them. They're going to see what a true man is to dating a woman, which will be their mother, if we're together or whatever. They're going to see what it's like to see what true masculinity is, what it's like to listen and be led and all of that stuff like that, the traditional masculine stuff and traditional femininity. And they're also going to have a good, upstanding role model, their father, showing them right from wrong, what kind of good men there are. Obviously, they're going to make their own decisions, and I'm going to still look out for them. But when they're wrong, I'm going to tell them they're wrong. I'm not going to say, oh, or sugarcoat anything. I'm going to tell them how it is. If they don't want to listen, it's fine. But more times than not, I'm typically almost always right or is right. So they're going to learn one way or another. Sometimes they're going to have to get their hands burnt on the stove to learn. And I say that, what I mean by that is for people in general, but since we're talking about women specifically, a lot of women don't experience certain things that us men have to experience or understand it. So they lack some empathy towards certain situations, or a lot of them that relate to a lot of men nowadays, especially with this misandrist woman era. So they have to get their hand burnt on the stove in order to understand what it's like to be a man. Or they'll try not to care. Like I had a situation where something happened that I didn't like and I was irritated by it, and I was made to look like the bad guy, which, as a man, we're either the good guy or the bad guy, or most of the times, every standard we have, we're bad. I'm using quotation marks. I'm not being for real when I say that. But then when the situation was reversed and happened to them, now they were mad. And now they got, which I would say, got their hand burnt on the stove because now they know what it felt like. Other than if that situation didn't reverse itself and happen, that person wouldn't have cared.
Pops was not in the house telling you what you needed to hear, but more importantly, showing you and loving on you. A father's love could make up for all of this.
Pretty much.
Tomorrow it would be eradicated. So that's where fellas kick in. Because some ladies saying, well, what about the men? What about the men? I'll tell you where the men come in. To be the best father you can be. To choose women discriminately. To be intentional. To not be led by the physical. Because that's what has created that dynamic. It's not just a one-way street. This ain't the blame games. You got the Hunger Games and you got the damn blame games. As men, we have to choose with discernment, understanding, and wisdom. We have to choose not from the little head, but the big head. And when we choose, we have to be choosing not just that woman and who she is today, but who is she going to be tomorrow, the next day, 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 the next day. Is this going to be the woman to raise my children? Because I'll tell you something. That big old booty, them big old biddies are not going to raise your kids. How fine she is not going to raise your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Her personality, her value system, the way in which she moves through life is. And so you got to make those decisions. And you got to be the man who is able to, because you can't just walk up out here and you have a work. You have to build yourself into the man necessary. And money is a byproduct, but it is the least important when it comes to the things that I'm speaking on right now. Money is important for the things it's important for, but it cannot raise your baby girl. You can't pay enough money to stop her from becoming a streetwalker. You have to love her into that position. And a mother who is safe and secure, a mother who feels secure, who doesn't then give herself over to emotionality and then does the very same thing and leads her daughter into the very same path to hell. I believe in us as a collective, as humans. I really do. I believe we could find ourselves back in a place where morals mean something, values mean something. Women want to dress up. You know, there was a time where bathing suits, like they were actual bathing suits. They weren't these bikini skimp little, you got to floss up your crack. You got these two little patches on the tatas. There was a time when women were dressed. There was modesty in the culture. Oh, but they were doing this and they were doing that. Yeah, of course. All that stuff existed. Absolutely. It still existed. But guess what? The culture did not value those things. It did not pedestalize those things. To be a man, to be a stand-up man, to, take care of your family, those are things that you were to be proud of. And that was propaganda being pushed too. Don't get that twisted. There was an initiative by the American government to push pro-American value, virtue propaganda, to have people create a sense of pride in the place that they were and in their communities, in their households as individuals, and to move that way. Now, every single image is of a young woman busting it wide open for any dude, of a young man looking to sleep with as many chicks as he can to validate his quote unquote masculinity. I believe we can find ourselves back there, but we have to start here, which is to be honest about it, to continue to have the conversation. The messaging has to be perpetual. That's why I put out so much content. Some people, well, we already talked about that. How many times have you heard the message of go out there and be promiscuous, go out there and be a 3 or 4? How many messages have been sent? Tens, if not hundreds of thousands. So it's our job to be the contrast, be the opposite, the opposing voices to those. I believe we can, but we must be willing to. And I'm not one of these who just gonna sit back and just watch the world burn. I can't do it. Appreciate you guys for tuning in.
I agree with that. I won't watch the world burn. Now, if you made it this far to the end of the video, now I will say, if you end up dating a girl that does dress promiscuous or does any of that, and you are dating her and you do love her and you don't want to leave her, you do have options. Don't take her serious, and either A, when you don't take her serious, either A, she's going to want to change herself or change her ways, or B, she's just going to leave you, which if you stop caring and don't take her serious, then you have nothing to worry about. Or B, you can cheat. Just keep on cheating. Or C, leave. But it's all up to you on what you want to do. But yeah, honestly, to all y'all women that's watching this, or if I ever post these clips or this specific clip on TikTok, stop dressing like a hoe. You're not empowering yourself. You look like a streetwalker. You look like a hoe. You look like a whore. You look like a 304. You look like all those stereotypes, and you should be ashamed of yourself. If your dad was in your life, which I wish he was, but he isn't. If your dad was in your life, you wouldn't have done majority of the stuff that you have done. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should look in yourself in the mirror and be like, I can't believe I did this. I can't believe I'm being a hoe. I can't believe I'm doing this. Well, you can still change it. You can still, there's always a second chance. It's a chance to redeem yourself. Now, if you're too far gone, then I don't know what to tell you. And it seems like the girls who aren't hoes in terms of having high body counts, they would tend to act the most like hoes. And the girls that are hoes, they tend to want to act like the girls who aren't hoes. And that's so crazy to me. It's like, come on, bro. Now, if you are a hoe, hey, us niggas, we don't really care as long as you are honest. So you a good little fuck buddy or somebody to talk to here and there, but nothing serious. But if you happen to date a girl, what I call a vanilla hoe, she may not have bodies like a hoe, but she does hoe activities, girls trips, going to parties, clubs a lot, dressing promiscuous, and you end up dating that type of girl, a vanilla hoe, don't take her serious. That's my word of advice. Don't take her serious. At best, she's baby mama material, but nothing more, nothing less. But with that being said, that's all for this video. And with that being said, I will see y'all in the next. I'm out. Peace.